Here's something most TypeScript developers never learn. You can add full, strict type safety to any untyped JavaScript library without touching its source code. That red squiggly line saying, "could not find a declaration file for module?" You can fix it yourself in under 5 minutes. And if you publish packages, declaration files are the difference between a library people love and one they avoid. Let's master the .d.ts file completely. Declaration files are TypeScript's way of describing the shape of code without including any implementation. The file extension is .dat.ts. The D stands for declaration. Think of them as a contract. They tell the compiler what types exist but contain zero runtime logic. When you import Lodash or a legacy jQuery plugin, TypeScript reads these files instead of the actual JavaScript to know what you're allowed to do. Let's reproduce the problem first. Imagine you install a small utility library that ships only JavaScript and no types. The moment you import it, TypeScript throws error 7016. Could not find a declaration file for module. The implicit type is any, which means you've silently lost all type safety on everything that library returns. Our job is to turn that any back into precise checked types. The fastest escape hatch is a single line. Create a file called tinycache.d.ts and write declare module, then the package name. This silences the error. But notice the cost. Everything from that module is now typed as any. It compiles, but you get no autocomplete and no safety. This is fine as a temporary band-aid, never as a destination. Let's do it properly. Now the proper version. Inside the declare module block, we describe exactly what the library exports. The library exposes a createCache function returning a cache object. So we declare that function's signature, its parameters, and its return type. The key word here is declare. It tells TypeScript this thing exists at runtime. Trust me, just don't emit any JavaScript for it. Notice we use export inside the block, mirroring the real module's exports exactly. Watch what happens in our consuming code. The createCache call is now fully generic. Pass a type argument and every method is checked. The get method returns a string or undefined. Set rejects a number where a string is expected. And autocomplete lists every method. We went from any to precise inference. And the JavaScript library never changed. That's the entire promise of declaration files. Many older libraries use module.exports equals a single function or object. To type that, we use export equals. The CommonJS export assignment syntax. Here, a library exports one callable function directly. We declare the function shape, then write export equals the function name. Consumers then import it with the equals require style or with is module interop enabled as a default import. This pattern trips people up constantly, so memorize it. Real libraries often return different types depending on their arguments. Declaration files support overloads exactly like normal TypeScript. List the specific signatures first, more specific at the top, then a general fallback last. Here, a pass function returns a date when given a string, but a number when given a timestamp config. The compiler picks the first matching overload, so ordering matters. Put the narrow cases before the broad ones. Sometimes a library attaches things to the global scope. A script tag that adds a property to window, for example. To type that, we reach for declare global. But there's a gotcha. Declare global only works inside a module, meaning a file with at least one import or export. So we add an empty export statement at the bottom to mark the file as a module. Inside the block, we extend the window interface. And now window.analytics is fully typed everywhere. Here's where declaration files become genuinely powerful. Module augmentation lets you add types to a module you don't own. Say you write an express middleware that attaches a user object to the request. The express types don't know about it. With declare module pointing at express serve static core, we reopen its request interface and add our field. TypeScript merges our declaration with the libraries, so request.user is now typed across your whole app. This is interface merging working across package boundaries. With that augmentation in place, look at our middleware. We assign request.user and TypeScript accepts it because it now knows that field exists. Downstream, in any route handler, accessing request.user.role gives full autocomplete on our literal union. We extended a third-party library's types without forking it. That's the kind of thing that makes a large codebase feel cohesive. Bundlers like Vite and Webpack let you import non-code assets, CSS modules, SVGs, even .graphql files. TypeScript has no idea what those resolve to. We declare wildcard modules using a star pattern. Here we tell the compiler that any import ending in .svg is a string URL, and any .module.css gives a record of class names. This single file removes a whole category of import errors in modern front-end projects. Some libraries ship as UMD bundles, usable both as a module and as a global variable on a script tag. jQuery is the classic example. To type both usage modes, you declare a namespace describing the API, then write export as namespace with the global name. This tells TypeScript the same types apply whether someone imports the package or references the global. It's a niche pattern, but when you need it, nothing else works. Library authors lean heavily on generics with constraints to make APIs both flexible and safe. Here we type an event emitter, where the event map is a generic parameter constrained to a record of handlers. The on method then keys into that map, so the listener arguments are inferred from the event name. This is advanced inference, but it lives entirely in the declaration. The runtime emitter is plain JavaScript. All this intelligence is purely compile time. Before ES modules, declaration files link to each other using // directives, 3 slashes followed by a reference tag. You still see these in handwritten or definitely typed packages. The types directive pulls in another package's types, and the lib directive pulls in built-in libraries like the DOM. In modern code, you mostly use imports instead, but you must recognize these because the entire definitely typed repository is built on them. If you publish your own library, you should bundle your types so consumers get them automatically. 2 fields in package.json matter. The types field, sometimes called typings, points to your main declaration file, and the modern exports field maps each entry point to both its runtime code and its types, separately for import and require. Getting the exports map right is critical. The dual import and require keys are what make your package work cleanly in both module systems. You rarely write declaration files for your own code by hand. The compiler generates them. Set declaration to true in your ts_config, and ts emits a .d.ts next to every output file. Add declaration map for go to definition that jumps to your real source, not the generated types. Tools like tsup or the modern rollup plugin do this in one command. Handwritten declarations are for libraries that aren't written in TypeScript. When a popular JavaScript library has no types, the community fix is DefinitelyTyped, that massive repository behind every @types package. Each library gets a folder with an index.d.ts, a tsconfig, and a test file. The test file isn't run for behavior, It type checks your declarations against realistic usage. If you've written good declarations for a public library, contributing them back means thousands of developers npm install your work as @type something. Declarations can silently rot. They compile fine while describing the wrong shape. The fix is to test them. The TSD library gives you assertions like expect type and expect error that run at compile time. Here we assert that get returns string or undefined, and that passing a number to set is a genuine error. If a future change breaks these expectations, your CI fails. Treat your types as code that deserves its own tests. A few traps catch everyone. First, a .d.ts file with a top-level import or export becomes a module, and your declare module blocks for ambient packages stop being global. Keep ambient declarations in a script-style file with no top-level imports. Second, never put implementation in a declaration file. Declare only describes. Third, make sure your type roots and the include array in tisconfig actually pick up your custom types folder, or the compiler will quietly ignore everything you wrote. You now command the full toolkit. Ambient module declarations, export equals for CommonJS. Declare global, module augmentation, wildcard imports, UMD globals, and shipping types with the exports map. The mental model is simple. Declarations describe shape, never behavior. Practice by typing one untyped library you use today. It's the fastest way to internalize everything we covered. 3 things to lock in. 1. Declaration files describe types only, never runtime code. 2. Declare module types untyped packages, while module augmentation extends ones you don't own. 3. Ship your types through the package .json exports map so consumers get them for free. Next up in the TypeScript track, we go deep on conditional and mapped types, the engine behind libraries like Zord and Prisma. Subscribe so you don't miss it, and comment with the trickiest JavaScript library you've ever had to type. We'll help you crack it.